Hi everyone, I'm Monica. Welcome to our early stage webinar for teenagers. Our today's topic, the life of fashion models, is definitely the topic which some of you like talking about, and the one that provokes a lot of questions. And so today, I'm completely honored to have my guest with us, Damien Never, who is now in New York City. And yeah, welcome. I'm just honored to have you together with us today. So can you tell us a few words about you, Damien?
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you, Monica, and thank you, Early Stage, for inviting me to this webinar on this Thursday in early April. I'm coming to you from Brooklyn, New York, where I've been working remotely for, I think I'm in my third week. So I'm very, very delighted to be here and talk to you all about the life of models.
Okay, so maybe let's check whether you are there. So just write where you are from. Yeah. Is everything clear? Can you hear us? Can you see us appropriately? Okay, I can see. So just write the cities you are from. Okay. Can you hear us? Yes, okay. Okay, so I hope that you had a chance to watch a few films before today's webinar, and I hope that you managed to do the quiz. So maybe now let's go through the words which we'd like to introduce you today. Okay. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to show you the slides and the pictures and the photos, and I would like you just to think what you think the words are, and then just write what you think the word is on chat, okay? So let's go. Okay, I can't move this slide. Okay, so what do you think this is? Okay. Oh, I can see that you're from Bydgoszcz, from Warsaw, from Krakow. Okay, so this slide, guys, is, of course, oh, sorry, something. Yeah. Oh, one more time, sorry. Hope the technical, we won't have any technical problems.
Yeah. Oh, I see some correct answers. Maresha has a correct answer.
Oh, great. So yeah, definitely that's campaign. So what campaign is? Damien, can you help me with the definition?
Yeah. So for all those students, we're looking at advertising, or another word for that is campaign. And this campaign is for Prada, the Italian luxury giant. And it stars the model Anak Yai. So, and she's photographed by Willy Vanderpeer. So,
okay,
this is an advertising campaign, classic advertising.
Super. Thank you for this really clear explanation. Okay, so let's go to the next picture, photo. What do you think it is? I think it's pretty obvious. Okay, any answers?
Models standing around. What could it be?
Yeah, and waiting, and just waiting. You can see that they are really patient. Okay, so of course that's casting. Pretty stressful thing, Damien. What do you think?
Yeah. So this is an experience that models are going through constantly. They're queuing, which is what you're seeing here. They're holding their model portfolios, and they are likely going to meet the casting director, and that is the person who makes decisions on behalf of a brand, let's say Prada, or
and he decides that, for example, a model is going to take part in the session, yes, photo session, or in runway,
or maybe the runway, yeah. So
sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Let's keep it moving, Monica. Yeah.
Oh, okay, so let's go. Okay, so what's that? it's pretty similar to the previous one.
Yeah, it's
okay.
it's
Is there any
slight
are there any
distinction.
answers? Yeah. Okay. Okay, so that's go see. I'm a bit confused, Damien, because for me it's pretty similar to casting. So
so I'd say casting is the more specific designation. So go see is a more general term, and it's generally, I'd say, the first step in the casting. So if a model is going on a go see, it literally means to go see the client. So yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so let's proceed with the next one. Okay, any answers?
Patricia, she has it. I see a correct answer.
Okay, great. So that's
digitals.
Digitals. Okay, so these are the images of a model. Okay.
Yeah. So we see plenty of pictures of models, but these are distinct from what you see in a magazine. These are what we call digitals, and this shows clients what the model actually looks like. You know, actual in inverted commas.
In her natural, I mean, look.
Yeah.
Without any makeup.
Yeah, I mean, maybe very limited makeup. The styling is very plain. You know, you really want to show the body of the model, the shape that they're in. Yeah, there's skin.
Yeah. So let's proceed with the next.
And also, if you go back one, Monica, at the bottom there are the model's measurements, which is very important.
Okay.
Body measurements, that is.
Okay, and here you are with the next one. A beautiful picture, by the way. Okay, so any answers? Okay, so that's editorial. Okay, so these are the photographic stories. Okay, and the pictures. So it's something more than just a picture.
Yeah, so this particular model is an American model named Binks Walton, and this is from the current issue of the Wall Street Journal magazine, which just came out yesterday. It's for the April 2020 issue.
Oh my God!
And an editorial is where the magazine itself is producing the photos, and it's distinct from advertising because. This is the publication, the magazine, the editorial staff is making decisions about what goes in, what the model is wearing, and where the shoot is. So,
okay. Yeah. So let's proceed with the next one. So that's the next model management. So what's that?
The correct answer. That's my employer. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yes, it's here.
Yeah. Okay. So a mother agency it describes the relationship that a model agency has to a model. So all models begin their career with one agency typically, and throughout the career of that model, they might sign to other agencies in different cities, but they will always have a mother agent. So it's sort of in the name. It's mother. You have a lot of relationships in your life, but you can only have one mother.
Okay, but still, does it mean that if the model is not satisfied with the cooperation, she can't resign? She can't get out of it? Well,
so if you know. There are instances in a model's career when maybe after so many years they find out, you know what, I'm not happy with my mother agent anymore. So it's kind of a legal process to go through where you cancel that relationship and you essentially give that relationship that mother status to another agent. And
okay,
I can go down.
Okay. Yeah, I know, Damien, that you can talk and talk about it.
You got to
okay, let's proceed. Yeah. we're going to proceed with the next one, which is what you think it is. My dear viewers, any picks, anything? Okay, so that's actually exclusive.
Yeah, so let me explain what exactly why. So what we're looking at is Louis Vuitton advertising. In the what makes this exclusive is the relationship this campaign has to a particular model. So the model on the far left of the frame, in the white skirt, is an English model named Michelle Laff, and this particular season she was exclusive to Louis Vuitton, which meant she could not appear in advertising for any other brand but Louis Vuitton. And
but in this particular season, not like the whole year, but the particular season.
Well, yeah, exclusivity usually comes with terms. So you're maybe exclusive for one calendar year or maybe one season. Yeah, that's a term that would be defined. Yeah.
And it also probably means that the model seems to be pretty happy that one brand wants to have her for longer than just one episode. Am I right?
Absolutely. With exclusivity comes status, and modeling is all about status.
Okay. So let's proceed with the next one. Do you think they have an idea? Okay. So that's, of course, portfolio, which is pretty important for models. Am I right, Damien?
Yeah, definitely. A portfolio is just it's a selection of pictures, mostly editorial pictures, that, show clients who the model is and the work they've done.
Great. Okay, let's proceed with the next one. Okay. Have you got anything to write? Okay. So that's the curation. I have to admit that the word is new for me and I didn't know what it is. So I think that you can also tell the audience what it is and our teenagers.
Yeah. So curation is a term that we borrow from the art world. You've heard of art curators, museum curators who make decisions about the works of art that are going to be in a particular gallery or a particular museum. In this case, I'm using the term curation to describe what you're looking at is 9 pictures from the Instagram of the agency that I work at. And what I'm making here is decisions about which pictures are going to be where on the Instagram feed. So in a sense, this is curation. It's deciding which pictures go where.
Okay, great. And I think that's the last one. So booking. Thousands of meaning of this word, but here in modeling, it means, Damien, what? If a model has a booking.
A booking is simply is a job. So if a model gets the booking, that means she is secured for a particular photo shoot or a runway appearance or whatever engagement that she has with a client at a particular moment. We call that a booking.
Okay, great. So that's all when it comes to the words. So now we are going to proceed with the questions actually to telling us something about the life of fashion models. So I prepared some questions for you, Damien. So I'd be really happy if you can answer them. Okay, so what is the role of social media in the model's life? What are the best practices in using social media, especially by incoming models?
Yeah. What I say to models, social media it's very important. Our models, before they ever become models, they're using social media. But once they become models, social media really is their calling card to the world. It's it is a way that they can show, who they are as people, what their personality is like, their interests.
Okay.
So what
it's
I say
a,
to mom, yeah.
So it's a key factor. It's a key factor in their career. Am I right nowadays?
Definitely.
Okay. Actually, Alexandra has a question, Damien, to you. So I have a question. Who's the most famous model that you have worked with?
Worked with many models over the years. The most famous, well, I think for given the audience that I'm speaking with, I mean, I've worked with Anya Rubik. I'm sure many of you know who Anya is. Worked with her many times over the years. In the past, I've also worked with Małgosia Bella, another famous Polish model. I've worked with many, and even if I'm not working with them at my agency, I'm friendly with other models that are, the Bella Hadids of the world. These are people that I see during the fashion weeks in September and then again in February. So.
And there is yet another question, actually, how old you have to be to become a famous model?
Well, to become a famous model, I mean, really any age, fame can happen at any age. But I would say in terms of development, models start working, how should I say, doing things that models are doing at 14, 15 years old. But there are age restrictions during the fashion weeks. They need to, I think you have to be 16 years old to walk on most runways. Okay. And then another age requirement, Condé Nast, which is a publisher of Vogue and many other titles, they only work with models that are at least 18 years of age. Okay. So,
and there is still another question, actually. Who is the famous model now? Let's say 2019 or 2020.
Yeah,
I
think if you look at globally who the most famous models are, if you are judging strictly on the number of Instagram followers, you're talking about a Bella Hadid or a Gigi Hadid, Naomi Campbell. She's still modeling to this day. She's incredibly famous, has worldwide recognition. All of those models are, I don't work with them professionally, but they are.
You meet them occasionally somewhere.
Yeah.
At some parties or during fashion weeks. Okay, so I've read in one of your interviews that one of the things you wish more people understood about your job is the importance of curation. Can you just say something more about it? You've mentioned something when talking about the definition, but still, what's that?
Well, so curation is, like I said earlier, it's hold on, my apologies to see my son is going to join us. This is my son Bruno.
Bruno, hi Bruno.
Yeah, so curation is important. It's like I said earlier, it's about deciding which pieces of art go on the wall. And in the case of what I'm doing, I need to make decisions about which models' work is most important to be shown on social media. So what I do for the agency, I'm the director of social media. So on any given day, there are many stories that are happening with our talent. I need to make decisions about which is the most important story.
Is it difficult
to lead with on social media? Yeah. Is it difficult?
I mean,
It's not for me. I mean, it's, if I have Prada advertising that comes out that day, that's probably going to be the most important thing. And it's about prestige. It's about, there's a lot of unspoken things that confer status on any given work of models. So there's all kinds of work out there in the world, but it's not all as important as the other.
And Damien, you've observed and you've videoed so many days of the models working for your agency. Can you just describe a typical day of a model, especially during fashion weeks?
Yeah, so during Fashion Week, I think what we as a public see we see models walking down the runway. And the truth is that's only one aspect of a model's day in its entirety. So I'll give you an example. Let's say a model walks in 2 shows on, Wednesday. In that Wednesday where she's walking 2 shows, she's probably also going to maybe a couple castings for shows that are happening later in the week. She's going to fittings. A fitting is where a model goes to the house, the design house, and is literally fitted for the garment that she will be wearing in a future show. So she's going to castings, she's going to fittings, and she's walking in a couple shows. So
Sounds really exhausting. Sounds really exhausting and tiring, and it seems to be a really hard job. And I think
definitely
that it's not that glamorous as we think it is.
Well, I mean, yeah, there is glamour involved, but there is also a tremendous amount of work that goes into it. The demands that are put on these very young people, mainly girls, it's a lot. And, the other thing to keep in mind is, especially during fashion weeks, you have such high demand on the models because this client wants the model, that client wants the model. And often these times are in very close proximity to one another, and it gets very competitive. And yeah, that just raises the level of stress.
Okay, so I'm just wondering how they find time just to chill a bit, just to relax a bit, and just to forget about this industry, which seems to be very competitive. And it also is the question about the values in this industry, Damien. So is it changing? I mean, when it comes to the values, to the to the dignity of the models, to everything. I mean, to just you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's I think there in recent years there has been thankfully focus put back on just the human cost to modeling and the needs of models. What you're seeing now when you're going to a show for a brand that's owned by LVMH, which is one of the large fashion luxury conglomerates. LVMH, their competitor is a group called Kering. And if you're going to one of those shows, they literally have on the wall like the model charter, and which is a description of the beliefs that they have about the dignity of models, their right for nutrition, their right to privacy. They have a room set aside where only models can go, and they can sort of recharge. It's definitely a concern that I think is being voiced more, and whether it's actually changing the culture, I mean, I think the jury is out on that, but at least it's something that people are talking about more.
Mhm. And Damien, I can see the question. Amelia asked the question, what inspires you the most?
Yeah, what inspires me the most? That's a good question. I mean, I really, part of my job during the fashion weeks is filming and capturing that experience. So I guess I'm really inspired, I don't know, just by people who are passionate about what they're doing, and have a approach it with a real abandon, meaning they really give themselves to it. So when I see a designer or a stylist approaching their work, I mean, that's an inspiration for me, and that excites me, and it gets me to want to be part of that energy, and share that. That's exciting for me.
Mm-hmm. I think that I have still one more question about excitement. So, what part of your job is the most fascinating one, and the one that you love doing, and you look forward in the year, for example, that there is this one season, this one period of the year that you're just waiting for?
Yeah, I mean, it's September, and then again in February, the pret-a-porter, the ready-to-wear season. I cover that season, and I've been doing it for many years. I start with the shows in New York, and then I go to London, then Milan, then Paris. It's about 4 weeks. That's the most demanding time for me as a professional, but it's also the most creatively rewarding time. So it gives me the opportunity to make the films on a very regular and consistent basis, day after day. I'm with models, I'm at shows, I'm shooting. That's the most rewarding time for me, for sure.
And there is still one more question from Carolina. Is your work stressful? Quite contrary.
Yeah, I mean, there is a certain degree of stress, I think, that comes with the territory. I mean, anytime you're working in, I'll give you an example. When I'm the spaces that I'm shooting in, the stress level can get very high, because anytime you take a group of professionals, models, a stylist, a designer, and you put them in a tiny room in a small space, the level of stress will just go. And you add photographers to that. You add, other press and, dressers, people who literally dress the models. It just raises the level of stress. So it's stressful, but for the same part, the work that I do, if I didn't quite have that stress, it really wouldn't seem, I guess, worth it. It's a high price to pay, but the payoff is equal. You know what I mean? It takes a high degree of skill to operate in those spaces. So the reward is much greater.
Mm-hmm.
Bigger the risk, bigger the reward.
Okay. So I know that you are working very close to your models, especially during fashion weeks, because you are videoing, you're shooting, and you're just there with them all the time, which we could see in the films I provided all the viewers before. And yes, so why is it, what is the most important while you're so close to your models, you're all the time with them, but still you are not actually interrupting the show, interrupting the catwalk. So why is that so important? How do you do that? That you do not interrupt? They still want to have you with them.
Yeah, it's a very how do I say? It's a very fragile environment, meaning the stress levels are very high. There's a lot of preparation, hours and hours of work that goes into getting the model's hair a certain way, getting the clothing that they're wearing just right. So yeah, it's I'm sorry. Yeah, help me out with the question, Monica. So
Actually, I mean, the question is whether because you are very close, you are very
yeah.
close
Oh,
to
yeah.
the
Right. Okay. Right. Yeah.
models, and you still do not
Yeah.
interfere
Yeah.
them.
So the importance with that. So when I say here, there is once the show starts and I'm positioned backstage near the models. The most important thing is that every model takes a step forward and gets closer to the moment where they walk out. So what I'm doing in that particular moment, I'm filming the models. I'm trying to get the ambiance of the space and really just take in as much action as I can for my lens. What's most important in that moment is to capture what I can as close as I can without at any point stopping that procession of models. Because if I stop or impede, then it creates a cascade of events where, wait a minute, why is it stopping? Who just stopped it? Oh, this guy stopped it. This guy, this guy needs to go. He needs to go. As long as, and I would say this is true for any photographer, photographers don't ever want to be seen taking pictures. The best thing that can happen for me is that actually no one notices me.
Okay, so you like being invisible during your job?
Absolutely. I'm right now. I'm wearing black and white, but during the fashion month, I'm just wearing all black. I'm not wearing any colors. I really want to be as invisible as I can. Forgettable.
Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. Okay, I have still one more question about inclusiveness and diversity, which also I've read in many articles with you and with the interviews with you. That how important is that? And I think that we can explain this inclusiveness and diversity in your industry. And while watching the film about Emmy Red, the model, so from this next 12 hours, she said so wise things at the end that what she admires and what she likes is that the agency and the people surrounding her during the show just to be natural, be yourself, we are going to respect the person you are. So I do like it that she says that. So how important is that?
I mean, it's really everything. For a model to be herself and be true to herself. I mean, I know it sounds cliche. It sounds like maybe not very deep, but it really is as simple as that. I mean, we want models to be able to distinguish themselves from the other models. So the example that I give to whenever I speak to a new model is I remind them, you are going to be up against 100 other girls as pretty, or if not prettier than you, or distinctive. So how do you stand out? How do you differentiate yourself from all those other beautiful faces? So it's important. Personality, personal style, these are things that are very important to a model, and they really define who they are against all the others.
So there are different beauties, and the beauty is not the only thing. You need to have also the personality.
Yeah, because
yeah,
the truth is, one thing I liken it to, if you guys can all imagine a slot machine where you've got 3 spinning wheels, and rarely in modeling do all the wheels line up. Do they have personality? Do they have beauty? Do they have a willingness and a drive to want to model? Because often you might have one, but you don't have the other, so if you can get all 3, you have a possibility to have a very successful career.
And do the designers have their favorite models that they are asking you for? I want this one. I want this one. Not the yeah. Do they have special requests?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Models.
Okay.
Yeah. Over the course of a model's career, they develop relationships with photographers, stylists, designers. And designers, yeah, they definitely season after season they have their favorites, and they will cast them in their campaigns. They will be in their runway shows. Yeah, definitely.
There is a question on our chat. Let's have a look. Where are the best fashion weeks? I think that's the best fashion weeks.
Yeah, I mean, the truth is, many cities around the world have designers and they have fashion weeks, but there really are only 4 fashion capitals in the world. We have New York, London, Milan, and Paris.
Okay. Super. And still, Amelia asks, do models have high self-esteem?
Amelia, you would be surprised. The pictures of the girls that you see in the magazine, you think, wow, they look so confident. They look so, distinguished. And you meet the model and, maybe she suffers from low self-esteem, or, some models, struggle with depression. Models are beautiful, and they're different from us, different from me anyway in that way. but the things they share in common with everyone else is that they do struggle with self-esteem. They do struggle with real life issues. Yeah,
as
it's true.
As the agency, do you try to do something with that? If you see that your model has some problems with depression or this self-esteem, do you do anything to help them?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And that's something my colleagues who are model agents, yeah, they are the people who are working most closely with the models. So if a model is not in the right space, mentally or emotionally.
Just simply emotionally, yeah.
My colleagues will do their best in terms of getting them professional help that they need. Because the truth is, if you aren't healthy, physically, if you aren't healthy mentally, emotionally, you won't find success.
That's true, as in all professions throughout the world. I mean, they do need to take care of themselves as well, and their well-being, and also body, so that they need some workout, definitely. And as we discussed before the webinar, they also have some nutrition advice from the agency, so they are really taken care by the agency. Can I say that you are just trying to take care of them as well?
Like if you think in very, very simple terms, I mean, if you have a successful model, then you can have a successful agency. So goes a model's career, so goes the career of the agencies that represent them.
So the more a model is satisfied and happier, so then the agency just does the same. So they are just more popular, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. And going back to that analogy of this of the slot machine, modeling isn't for everyone, and it's even for the most beautiful people in the world who might model for a certain amount of time, it's not to everyone's liking. So if they're not enthusiastic about their work, then chances are other designers aren't going to be enthusiastic about it either. So it really needs to come from the model, their passion, their excitement,
attitude,
absolutely.
desires, and yes, motivation, definitely.
and that's not unique to success in other fields as well.
And Max asked the question, what are you scared the most? So a lot of emotional questions.
What am I scared of the most? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, Max. Maybe a global pandemic.
Yeah, which is also visible there in the New York City. So,
Yeah.
So what is happening now in your industry, in your business? What about the models? What are they doing now?
Yeah. So to elaborate on that in this particular moment, I mean, really, fashion modeling, really the world in a lot of ways has stopped in this moment of the global pandemic. So just like me, just like many of you, our models are home right now.
But do they anything online as we do and our students do?
Yeah. Yeah, actually what you're finding now for any of the students who are watching now, I'm sure if you've looked at Instagram or any social media, you see the models, the celebrities, the influencers, they're at home, they're going on Instagram Live, maybe they're doing the fitness workout, maybe if they're a successful DJ, they're DJing at home. Everyone's home. So that's what we're doing right now, is going on Instagram Live, talking to each other.
Okay, so still you've got meeting and you are in contact and in touch all the time.
Definitely.
So what are the model's most common threats and challenges nowadays, Damien?
Yeah, I mean, if the way that I like to talk about models and the demands that they have, just on them physically and emotionally, I mean, it's not, to use a double negative, it is not unlike what professional athletes go through. So, are my models running marathons? Not in the literal sense, but they are, active in a way that makes being physically fit, emotionally fit, so very important in order to, go the distance with modeling, to be able to, be in the right, campaign shoots, be in the, make the right decisions about their career. So they really do need to be at the top of their game, for the right moment they are in their career. So that's
So
just
do they have any breaks when there are no fashion weeks and pret-a-porter? So do they have any breaks, or they have second life and second profession?
Yeah. So what's pretty standard in the fashion industry, everyone goes on holiday in August. So I mean, August is I mean, traditionally it was August. If you think about it, most of France closes in August, and there are a lot of luxury houses there. I mean, there is still work that goes on in August, but mostly, models, if they're going to try and get some holiday, August is probably the time to do it.
Great. And so what are the 3 things you admire the models for?
I think what I think this would go generally. I mean, models have they have a really unique opportunity, and this is something that I admire them for. If a model can find success in her industry, she's going to travel. She's going to work with some of the most creative people in the industry. The economics of modeling. If a model can find success, it can support you and your family for many years. And you can really. I think I just admire I admire them for the opportunities that they have. So in the models that I've worked with over the years who have seized that opportunity and either really, embraced modeling. Yeah, I mean, I've always found that very inspirational. And, modeling can be, the truth is modeling can be a platform for other interests that they have. I've worked with models years ago who started as a model and then they turned into a successful photographer. So, there are many different paths that models have. So I admire them for the opportunity that they have. Yeah.
Super. Thank you for answering the question. Carolina asked how old are models when they end their career?
I mean, a model can be any age when their career ends. That's the truth.
But there are definitely, if they are older, there are fewer opportunities, I would say.
So, yeah, Carolina, there are exceptions, but generally the models that you're seeing on runways are 16, 17, 18 years old. That's a pretty, I'd say they make up a large percentage of the models that you see on the runway. But the truth is, runway is only one aspect of a model's career. I mean, there are many other facets and things that they can involve themselves with. So the truth is that if a model can find longevity, spend many years working as a model, they will do a variety of things. Maybe they started out early in their career being on the runway, but then they transition into modeling for advertising, and there are relationships that they develop with clients that they shoot with on a regular basis. So I mean, the truth is, a career can end at any age, but yeah.
Okay. And Damien, do you like your work? Social media, is it the work you really love to do? Was it always this type of job? Or, before working for Next agency, what you did?
Yeah, so I worked for modeling agencies for roughly 20 years. So I've worked for a few different agencies over the years. I've been with Next Management for over 6 years. As a university student, though, I studied English literature.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I studied English literature, and then I moved to New York. I went to New York University. I have a master's degree in humanities and social thought.
Okay.
So yeah, working for a modeling agency, doing what I do was I never really had that idea. It just happened by circumstance, really. I've always found that my ability to write, my ability to tell a story, and my ability to, create images, that's always sort of served me well. So, over 10 years ago, when social media started to become a thing, I found myself in a position where, I could start doing that for the agency that I was working at the time. And I've since made a career out of it. People keep hiring me and keep paying me, so
that's good. It means
I'll keep doing it. Yeah.
So that's great. And I'm just wondering, there's still one question, because I know that you have Bruno. We've already seen Bruno, your son, and I'm just thinking again about the life of a model. And when she wants to have a family and and kids, and what it means to her. I mean, the end of career, or she's just
not at all. Yeah,
okay.
I work with I can think of many models throughout the years that I work with that have had children, and a few seasons ago I was actually working one of my models, Leela Goldcool, she was breastfeeding her child backstage before she walked in the show. So
Amazing.
yeah.
I mean, probably again, new opportunities are for the girls who are in a different role. So in a role of the mother, so new opportunities are waiting for them.
Absolutely.
I think that there's Marisha asked the question: have you ever been on Victoria's Secret show?
Yeah, Marisha, no, I haven't. I've been at a lot of shows, but the Victoria's Secret show I've never done. And actually, they don't even do the show anymore. That's
interesting.
That's the big news. I mean, that's a brand that has I think fallen on hard times in recent years. So never shot that show. It was, it's yeah. I work with models who have been in that show. I work with them pretty regularly, but never been in that show. Nope.
But different shows. So is there any show that you remember which was really spectacular and really just, something that was wow, only one, the best ever you've taken part in, is there anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, I've been at show like really sensational shows over the years. I mean, just this past season in Milan, for example, like the Versace show. That's a show that I always love to be at, and this season was extra, extra special. It was just, when I go to Milan, when I go to Italy, that's what I want to see. I want to just, it's every, how should I say, everything is to the maximum, at a Versace show. So yeah, that's a lot of fun.
Okay. But definitely, I mean, again, when I was watching the Next 12 Hours movie, I mean, the videos, I could notice that a different model has a different style and different expectations. So, and they like different things. There was one model who loved just the music and the atmosphere, that there were people from all over the world, and it was great. The other one liked that it was very special and very luxurious. So different models like different probably shows and different fashion weeks and different events, I guess. Again, it's it depends on this. It depends on the just personality, expectations.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I would say about models. I mean, if you think about them as you take any population of people, any large population of people, you're going to have difference within that population. So models, maybe they all kind of have a certain look, but they all have, different personality types. So you're going to get difference and variation within that. So, and I would say that's largely true about fashion in a larger sense. It's in a lot of ways, it's a small industry, but within that industry, there are, there's all different types of people, and the same is true for models.
And still one more question. Do you watch Top Model? This. We were talking about that as well.
Yeah, Alexandra. So I've never actually watched Top Model. Maybe I think it's maybe too close to what I do. And Monica, you and I spoke last week. I had mentioned Top Model. I think Top Model is entertainment on television, and it's the overlap between Top Model and high fashion it's very, very slim, I would say.
Okay. We are almost there at the end of our interview or our meeting, but still, can you just tell a few words what's happening now in the New York City? Is it so empty? Is it so just a few words?
Yeah, unfortunately, the only time I'm really going out, I take a walk in the neighborhood every few days. I go to the grocery store, for the family, and it's it is sunny outside, but it's not recognizable. I mean, and that's the sad part. I hear more ambulances on the street.
Yeah, we can hear that as well now.
Yeah,
Okay.
they go down the block. So yeah, it is a really difficult time for the city, and I would say in the world in general. So.
And what about the schools? Are they
Yeah,
also?
the schools, New York public schools were closed, I think over 2 weeks ago, and I think
Okay.
the mayor said that it's in all likelihood that's probably it for the year. So yeah,
Okay, till the end of the school year.
yeah. So public school in New York City, they run until the end of June. So, I mean, what my daughter, I have a daughter who's 10 years old and she's in the 5th grade. So she is doing her studies remotely, online,
Okay.
like all of the students here are doing.
Definitely, our students, early stage students, they're doing also Zoom classes,
Yeah.
lessons. Hopefully, they're satisfied and happy about them. And yeah, and we are just really, we do miss meeting people. I guess you as well. Just
Yeah.
but we are really happy to have you here. You here with us from New York, and I was really excited about today's meeting. So, Damien, thank you very much for just sharing this backstage news about the life of our fashion model. So, really, it was a great honor to have you here.
Well, Monica, and my thanks to you and Early Stage for having me, and thank you to all the students who tuned in. I really appreciate the questions, and yeah, your participation in this.
Yes, we could see that our students are really and engaged, and they were just asking questions. They weren't afraid, and thank you for answering the questions, my questions and our students' questions.
My pleasure.
So have a lovely day, because what time is it now in New York?
It's coming up on 2 in the afternoon in New York.
Okay, so we are just having 8 p.m. So it's almost the end of the day. So Damien, thank you very much. So have a lovely day. And our early stage students, teenagers, thank you very much, and see you on Tuesday, probably.
All
Bye.
Right. Thank you so much. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.